Hi, my name is Emmeline Kaiser, and I'm from Ridgefield, Connecticut. I recently graduated from the University of Michigan with a Master of Science in Information, where I specialized in archives and librarianship. For this junior fellowship, I worked with Alexander Reese in the Digital Content Management section of the Digital Collections Management and Services Division, with Andrew Cassidy Amstutz as our project mentor.
Hi, my name is Alexander Reese. I'm from College Station, Texas. I'm currently pursuing my Master's of Science in Information Studies at the University of Texas at Austin, specializing in librarianship and data analytics. I worked with Emmeline Kaiser in the Digital Content Management section under the mentorship of Andrew Cassidy Amstutz. The Digital Content Management section, or DCM, was formed in 2018 to support the acquisition and management of the rapidly growing digital content in the Library of Congress's general collections. DCM has developed workflows to acquire and manage electronic books and serials. Our 2021 Junior Fellows project focused specifically on supporting DCM's work with the Acquisitions and Bibliographic Access Directorate, or ABA, to expand the library's collection of e-serials through web archiving.
For these projects, Alex and I manually reviewed spreadsheets of freely available journal titles from the Duplicate Materials Exchange Program and the Directory of Open Access Journals. We researched the location and availability of the journals online and cross-referenced the library's current holdings and bibliographic records to determine which had been previously acquired by the library. Both projects resulted in curated lists of previously acquired titles that represent the geographic and subject diversity of the library's collections. These titles are now viable for potential acquisition in electronic form using web archiving.
Since 2002, the Library of Congress's Duplicate Materials and Exchange Program, or DMEP, has used its duplicate books, primarily New American imprints that have been received through copyright and cataloging and publication, to compensate partners for the collection materials that they send to the library. The library has over 3,500 exchange partners in 115 countries. As many of these partners, such as NGOs, academic institutions, and corporate bodies, both domestic and foreign, shift from print to electronic communication, the library has received fewer print materials through DMEP. However, some organizations have made their publications freely available online, allowing the library to acquire them through web archiving. To support this method of acquisition, I reviewed a list of titles that the library had previously acquired in print through DMEP. I received 32 spreadsheets representing over 1,600 unique titles from ABA staff who previously determined that 668 were openly available online. Over the course of this project, I worked to consolidate, verify, and expand on the information provided by ABA staff about each openly available DMEP title. Of primary importance was establishing a working URL to the openly available title's content, determining the Library of Congress's holdings for the title's license where possible, and the publication's point of contact for notices and permissions. Overall, these 668 openly available titles represented serials from 41 different countries and in 12 languages. As of July 1st, 2021, I reviewed 200 titles from which I will select a sample of 100 for acquisition through web archiving. These will represent the geographic, linguistic, and subject matter diversity of the library's collection, and this project will allow the library to continue acquiring, preserving, and making available serials that it no longer receives in print from its exchange partners.
The Directory of Open Access Journals, or DOAJ, served as another resource for identifying titles to web archive. DOAJ is an independent database of peer-reviewed open access e-serials from around the world and contains about 16,000 titles from across all areas of academic study. The size of the publishers represented on DOAJ varies as well, from large presses with dozens of titles to small publishers that contribute only one journal. These small publishers, which are defined for the purposes of this project as publishers with less than 40 titles in DOAJ, were of particular interest to DCM because they were less likely to be eligible to submit titles through the copyright demand process. I reviewed DOAJ titles from the publishers meeting this criteria and identified those that had been previously acquired by the library in print format, which now makes them eligible for web archiving. I expanded this list of prior acquisitions with additional relevant information like the current journal URL, license information, publication frequency, and the extent and format of the journal's online availability. This process also generated a list of open access e-serials that the library has not yet acquired. As of July 1st, 2021, I reviewed 350 titles and identified over 130 previously acquired e-serials from small publishers, representing a wide variety of countries and languages. I will ultimately select 150 titles as potential candidates for web archiving. This process will help to maintain the breadth and diversity of the library's e-serial collections and ensure that ongoing e-serial acquisition does not default to only the largest presses that submit their titles through copyright demand. This internship has been an invaluable opportunity to learn about and engage with DCM's work managing digital content across the Library of Congress. We've been able to speak with professionals from different teams and get a broader view of the library's wide range of work with digital collections material. We'd like to thank our project mentor, Andrew Cassidy Amstutz, the rest of the DCM and DCMS team, the IFP team, and all the other library staff members who generously agreed to meet with us over the course of this internship to share their experience and expertise.